G'day everyone. Thought I'd talk to you about a long-term review of using the Sony 135 f1.8 G Master now that I've had this for a good 2 or 3 months. So I wanted to give you my opinion about how it's gone, where I've used it, things like that, how I've got around having to shoot so far away from the subjects and things like that. So I thought I'd talk to you about that as a whole and show you some images that I've captured over the last couple of months so you can sort of get an idea about what this lens will give you. To cut things short and sort of talk about that right from the beginning, this is probably one of the best lenses that I've ever had. It really is outstanding. It's just beautiful to use. The build quality of this lens is just unbelievable. I mean, as soon as you pick it up, you can really feel that the build quality of this lens is just up there with anything that I've ever used before. And I love that aspect of it. I mean, the lens cap is plastic, but it is substantial, and it also has a locking part onto it as well, so that's really nice. There is weather sealing all through this lens, so you're confident about using this if it's a little bit drizzly and things like that. And in fact, I've done that before. Some of the controls that I just adore about this lens, particularly seeing that I do video, is the fact that it has a switch on the side here, and I'll show these up close as we're talking, but a switch on the side here where you can click that and then it smoothly changes the aperture without stepping, or you can click that on if you want to and then it will step if you'd like to feel that sort of tactile feedback as well. I tend to leave it off and just smoothly scroll, and that's such an advantage if you're doing video with this lens due to the fact that you don't get that stepping in between your aperture range. It does go from f1.8 all the way up to f22, so you've got that massive range if you need it. And there's also your custom buttons on the side of this lens that you can use to custom to different things. There's 2 of them, so you can do that to IAF or other things if you'd like to do that. So it seems to be just an outstanding lens. There's also on the side you have an AF manual focus switch that you can just turn if you want to go to manual focus without having to go into the camera. And there's also a focus limiter as well, which is really nice too. So you've got that if you want to limit the amount of focusing that this will do, and it then even focuses faster. The linear step motors in this lens are unbelievable. It is so fast to get focus, and the IAF is just outstanding in it. It is by far the fastest focusing lens I've ever used, and I think Sony have to be commended for that. It is just outstanding. The image quality that you get from this lens is like no other lens I've ever used. The contrast, colour that you get from this lens is just unbelievable, and every time I shoot with it I look on the back of the viewfinder and just can't believe what I'm seeing. It's that good. It really is just amazing. In fact, this was the first G lens that I've bought. I've now bought the 24 as well, but this was the first G Master lens that I'd ever have or ever have had, and I adore this lens. The focal range too can be a bit problematic because you do have to stand so far away if you want to get a full body shot. But if you're not doing full body, in fact you can get very, very close with this lens to do face or head and shoulders, and that's quite surprising. So if you're using it that way, it's a very versatile lens. But you do have to understand that if you are trying to get a full body shot, you are going to have to step back a number of meters to get the a whole body in. So you do have to take that into account, and that's where you might like to use an 85 if you're working in very tight environments and things like weddings and things like that. I have used this in a number of shoots, like I've done it in a number of modelling shoots. Also, I've used it in weddings and some studio shoots as well, and I'll be showing those examples as we're talking, so you can sort of get an idea about those type of images. And it just hasn't let me down at all. It's fantastic in low light. The low light focus of this is just outstanding, and it's also really good even in backlit scenarios as well, which can really cause an issue with a lot of lenses that are out there. If this is backlit, it works very, very well indeed. And like I said, the focus has just never let me down. The images come out tack sharp, beautiful colour, straight out of the camera, and I think that's just amazing. And I just love this focal length. I was always tossing up between the 35 and the 135 is going to be my favourite focal length for portraits, but by far the 85, the 135 is now my favourite focal length for portraits, including full body and also head and shoulders or even a headshot. And the separation that this lens gives you from the background is like no other, and that's one fantastic thing about that I really, really do adore. So Let me know what you think about the images that I've been showing you. If you have any questions about it as well, please get back to me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you all soon for the next video. Bye for now.